Voiceover is everywhere, and you hear it every day. From radio.
Did you know Geico could save you hundreds on car insurance and a whole lot more? So what are you waiting for? Hip-hop group tag team to help you plan dessert?
Fresh vanilla, rocky road, chocolate, peanut butter cookie dough. Scoop this.
To TV.
What's the story, Wishbone?
Snack time, Wishbone.
Oh, perfect timing.
To movies.
Shall we play a game?
To animation.
See, you moronic mutants! No more turtles!
Look again, Shredhead!
And so much more.
I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
Welcome to episode 35.
Welcome to Who Did That Voice, the show where we take an in-depth look at the world of voiceover, including movies, TV, animation, and more. And now, here's your host, Trenton Larkin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. Today's special guest is the voice of Wolverine from X-Men, the animated series. This show was the introduction for me into the world of Marvel and X-Men, and so it holds a very special place in my heart. And if you're an X-Men fan, it probably holds a special place in your heart, too. I hope you guys enjoy some clips from Wolverine and then the interview to follow.
Here's Johnny.
I thought a friendly little skirmish with the X-Men might teach us a few pointers.
I got your pointers right here. Where's that blasted salami? I can smell it. All it needs is slicing.
While you're at it, fix one for me.
Ooh, looks like you've been having fun without me.
Are you sure this is where they've taken her, Wolverine?
The nose knows, tough guy. I don't make mistakes about Jean.
What are we all waiting for? Invitations?
I got invitations right here. Enough for everybody. Payback time. Somebody wake me up from this nightmare, 'cause I gotta be dreaming. Who do these genius spy catchers think they're dealing with? Winnie the Pooh? Hey, Tin Woodsman! I'm sending you back to Oz in pieces. I know what you're thinking, punk. Question is, can I get Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Humbug. Seeing as how these claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through vanadium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy. You gotta ask yourself, do I feel lucky?
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Who Did That Voice? Today, I am super excited to be bringing you an interview with Cal Dodd. Cal, thank you so much for joining me on the show today, man.
You are more than welcome, Trenton. My pleasure.
Well, Cal, the very first thing we like to do when we have a special guest on the show for the first time is to get to know them a little bit. So tell me about the young boy, Cal Dodd, that grew up into the man he is today and how he specifically got into acting and got the role of Wolverine from X-Men.
Gee, there's a simple question. My gosh. Well, I was born in Ireland. We came over when I was 2 or 3 years of age. We came over from Dublin, wherever. Well, my sister was born in the north. I was born in the south. Anyway, we came over, and we grew up in a small town in Ontario called Port Dover, which is more famous now for like the motorcycles that come from all over the world every Friday the 13th, which just happens to be 2 days ago was Friday the 13th. And my little small town of 3,500 people turns into 180,000 bikers because they all swarm to this. Anyway. So I was brought up in that little town and went to high school there, went to a private boarding school for a minute, for about 3 years, because he thought he was going to be a priest, but then that didn't happen. So then he got kicked out of there and came back to Port Dover High School and then finished his high school there, then went on to be a chartered accountant for about 3 years. And I said, that's not going to happen because my father wanted that. And being in an Irish family, whatever your father said, that's what you did.
Yeah.
So that didn't happen, and I went and did music, and, we were musical from the get-go, from the age of 5 when we flew over in the plane, and stuff. We came my mother found someone in Toronto for an agent, and the rest is history. I arrived in Toronto in 1972 or 3 or something, and hit this city, and it's never been the same since I hit it. So I became like the jingle studio singer for the next 25 years, and then never did voiceovers and stuff, and until this thing came up with Wolverine, and someone phoned me out of the blue. Karen Gura, very important name, so who was the casting, I guess, director for the kids from the people from Marvel.
Yeah.
And whatever, casting for the role of Wolverine, and this strange woman whom I didn't know phoned me out of the blue and said, "Would you be interested in auditioning for this?" I said, "For what?" She said, "Wolverine. It's like it's going to be an cartoon X-Men thing or something." And I said, "Oh, okay, sure, why not?" And then, "Where'd you get mine? And why would you call me?" Because I had no agent.
Yeah.
I didn't do voiceovers. I had no agent. Voiceover people all have agents, otherwise they don't get work. Anyway, so she called me, and I ended up going to this audition and on Yonge Street, across from the Eaton Center, and upstairs, and went in, and they handed me a piece of paper, and they showed me a picture of him, and I said, "Wow, okay." So what is he? Who is he? What does he sound? What's his thing? And they said, "Well, he sounds." We were thinking like he sounds like a cross between Clint Eastwood. Some of the references were unbelievable. Steve McQueen, whom I love. I mean, Steve McQueen was a great actor, but also very, very into himself and very calm and a very introverted sort of character, Steve McQueen. And Robert Mitchum and Ward Bond. And I went, what am I supposed to do with that? What? But the thing was the audition speech. So I just said, I know guys. They said, well, he's only like 5'3" or 4 or whatever, but he's strong as a pit bull, and he defends people, and he doesn't like people who pick on people bigger than him or whatever. And I said, perfect. I know this guy. So I read the thing, and it was like, I sat there, not knowing anything, looking at the picture of him. And so I just read this copy they gave me and said, like, should I pick on people smaller than you? Well, I'm smaller than you. How about picking on me, pal? And I put in the pal myself.
Yeah.
And they just went, whoa. They just went like, whoa. I said, come on, pal. How about picking on me? I'm smaller than you. And they just freaked out in the control room. The guys from New York and L.A. were just like, bingo. Because they've been looking for quite a while for Wolverine.
Yeah, wow.
And so as it happened, they just went like, yikes. And so they said, here, read this, do this, read this. And I read other lines, like, I know what you're thinking, punk. Question is, can I get to Wolverine before he turns me into shish kebab with those claws? Well, bub, seeing as how these claws are adamantium, the strongest metal known, and can slice through adamantium steel like a hot knife through butter, buddy. You've got to ask yourself, do I feel lucky? And they just went, bye-bye. And I came out, and I didn't know. They didn't tell me anything. I went home. I actually went home to my mom's house in Fort Dover. Wow. And I got the call the next day. Said, well, you've got this, this role. I said, well, I don't really know what it is, but that's effing great. And the rest is history, So, I've done no voiceovers until this point, like no agent. I didn't have an agent when I got this role, which is like unbelievable.
Yeah.
For this role, this is like the role of a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's the role of a lifetime for a voiceover person, Trenton.
It absolutely was.
Finding out.
Oh yeah, it absolutely was.
Finding out.
Yeah, and you were really
I loved him.
Yeah, I love him.
Oh no, this was me. This was like, I did that when I was growing up in like the schools that I grew up in and stuff. And anyone who picked on little girls that had snot running down their face and stuff, anybody would pick on anyone that was smaller than them. I was always there going like, no, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Leave them alone, or deal with me, or me and my two friends standing behind me. Certainly not with me.
Yeah.
But these two guys behind me who happen to like me. But, that always felt that way.
Yeah.
And that was Wolverine to me in his heart.
Yeah.
He was like, he just defended, him and Jubilee. Jubilee was like his little sister.
Yeah. And she was a sweetheart, that's for sure. She was just a young teenager girl, and he was always looking out for her. And that's really awesome. I never really thought of that correlation with her kind of being his little sister, but he really did treat her like that.
Well, Trent, listen to this. This even gets more interesting. The Jubilee, whom I didn't know, like I said, I had done no voiceover stuff. So, which is so good because Wolverine is a loner, as you know, as the fans know and stuff. And I was a loner in the voiceover business. So I went in we ended up doing this stuff in the studio. I didn't know any of these people because I was a singer and I was a top jingle singer in this country for 25 years.
That's amazing.
I was going flying wherever, New York, Chicago, went to Toronto, singing. And so for me to be doing a voice, here's people I had never met or crossed in my life in Toronto. And the area, the house that I bought in Toronto in the early 80s, across the street, this little girl and her little friend. And I had a TV show back in those days, and it was like kind of a star in Canada.
That's
it was
awesome.
like a TV show years ago called Circus. And it was a big excuse me, I lost my head. Big show. Okay. Anyway, these two little girls, I'm saying they were about maybe 11, 12, 13 years of age. And they would sit on the curb and wait for me to come out. Because I bought this house in 81. They would wait for me to come out, and they would just sit there. Well, guess who one of those girls turned out to be?
Who?
One of those little girls turned out to be Jubilee in the X-Men.
That's awesome.
Well, it freaked her out and me out.
Wow. That is so epic.
Allison Court lived 3 homes away from me on my street.
Wow.
And she was madly in love with me when I had the TV show. So it was just fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. And that's the reaction. Oh. But that was it. So whenever we were playing together, like in the studio and stuff, it was just, this is my little girl. This is my little sister. Come on. If you mess with her, you're messing with the wrong people here. Back off, bub.
Wow. And I'm sure when you're acting with her, that made the relationship have such a special impact on you guys because of the relationship y'all had through your life. So
it
was amazing.
It was magic. And she'd be like still googly eyed. just because, I'm her bigger brother. Like, and don't you, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, don't you be careful.
That is so epic.
That's a great, weird side story to the whole thing.
Dude, you can't make that stuff up. That's like iconic.
No, you can't.
Wow.
You can't. She lived across the street and would sit on the curb and wait for me to come out.
That's insane, dude. I love it.
Honest to God. Yeah, honest to God, when I first bought the house, this is a bit into my own head, but it was Halloween, so I decided my first Halloween. And I was a bachelor, and I lived all alone in this house, but they knew who I was. They do it because the show was syndicated worldwide.
Yeah.
So it was in Ireland and like all over anyway. So these people knew it. It was it started in '79, and this is probably I bought the house in '81. So these, including one, Allison, 5 of them, little girls about the age of 12, 13, came to the door, said trick or treat, and I showed up in my circus outfit. And if you've never seen the show, but it was like a ringmaster's outfit.
Yeah.
And they just went, this almost in unison, all said, "Be still my heart." Because they couldn't believe it. Oh my God.
Oh,
anyway,
that's so funny.
Enough of that.
Wow, that is awesome.
That
is really awesome, man. Well, and he is such an iconic character. Like people today, I mean, even Hugh Jackman based his Wolverine off of you because it was just so iconic. It left an imprint that nobody else wanted to see anything else but what you created, man. It was magic. It was magic.
Well, thank you very much. But I mean, for me, it was like a job that I was doing, but I fell in love with this character, obviously, for 5 years. I hated when it ended. But like Hugh, and like when I first met him in 2000, just when they were just beginning to shoot the first X-Men thing, and he walked through an X-Men movie, he walked in, this fact walked by me, and he looked at me and winked and said, "I'm getting sick of hearing your voice, mate." Because he had to listen. The only reference he had for Wolverine's voice was my voice for Wolverine.
Yeah.
That people for 5 years, kids grew up trying to impersonate that voice and listening to it for 5 years in grade school or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when I grew up, we were always trying to impersonate Bugs Bunny or Popeye or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, we all did that. So, you know, it was Wolverine in the 90s.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he said, "I'm getting," but that's the only reference he had, as you said, it's the only reference he had, and the children had for his movie thing. The very first movie was my voice, and he had to try and get that thing. And he said, "I'm getting sick." He said, "No, no, not an insult, Mike, but I'm telling you, get inside here, listen to your voice." but you know. And he was joking, of course.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But,
he was such a great guy.
In good faith, and he is a great guy. Yeah,
yeah, he is so down to earth, and you know, I'm kind of jumping around here. You know, I know he's actually sang the role of Curly in Oklahoma, and I know you have sung the role of Curly in the Oklahoma.
No, tell me he didn't do that.
He did. He did.
Tell me. Oh my God, it's too weird.
You guys have this parallel life,
weird.
man. I swear, it's awesome.
It's so weird that both Wolverines, like when I saw him doing the song and dance thing on whatever show he was hosting.
Yeah,
I just went, no, stop doing that. Stop. No, don't do that.
Yeah,
don't do the song and dance, because I was like, holy crap. This is unbelievable. Like the two of us have so much in common.
You should do a double show, like call it the two Wolverines.
Oh no! I told him. I left him a message saying I have a 20-piece orchestra, big band stuff. If you have the balls and the courage, come on, we'll sing together. And it'll be fantastic.
Dude, that would be epic. I would totally pay to come see that.
Oh no! Oh geez, that would be so stupid and so silly.
It'd be amazing. It'd be awesome.
It would be fantastic. Yeah, it would be.
It'd be like a comedy singing hour, kind of like a Jerry Lewis and Dean Martin. Yeah, kind of a that would be perfect, man.
Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis.
Yeah, so
okay, I'll be Jerry Lewis.
That's great.
Lady. Oh God!
Oh man, that's too much fun. I just found it
unbelievable that the two of us, like, we're singers.
Yeah, I mean, just too iconic, man.
Really weird.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something about the kind of people that you and Hugh are that helps create Wolverine, because y'all are so parallelistically combined. I mean, like your lives are like similar in so many regards. It's crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah,
so
it is really, really odd.
Yeah,
it is. It's very odd.
But, kind of getting back into the animation side of things, you played Wolverine in the 92 series. And then again, you kind of came back in a couple episodes with some of the other X-Men, not all of them, in Spider-Man, the animated series. And it was just so iconic. You know, I've talked with others from Spider-Man and others from X-Men. And, these were the shows that shaped my world of Marvel. You know, you were my first Wolverine. Your cast was the first X-Men I knew. And so, like, when I saw the movies coming out, I was like, these don't quite match what I was looking for, so it's like we never really got to see Wolverine.
Exactly.
Wolverine never got the yellow spandex. And I know people are like, spandex, but it's the iconic look that we wanted. We wanted it to at least be some symbolisticness of it. And they teased a lot, but they never ever gave us what we wanted when it came to Wolverine in his costume, so it was always a t-shirt and jeans, but
I'm happy to hear that. Because I felt the same way.
I felt gypped. I really did.
The first movie, when I saw the first movie, I said, let me get this straight. I thought he was 5'3" and built like a fire hydrant and like a powerful Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like, Wolverine is a very powerful animal.
Yeah.
For its size, the most powerful muscle and size-wise animal in the world.
Yeah.
And this, all of a sudden, there's a 6'4" guy, and I just went, well, I don't get it. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no offense to the size and stuff, but I didn't know. I didn't know why they went that route or whatever.
Well, and I think Hugh Jackman, though,
what you're saying.
Yeah, well, but I think in the essence of everything, Hugh Jackman really nailed the part. There was nothing against him, nothing against his acting or nothing. It was just that he didn't get the chance to wear the costume based on the producers, directors, everybody's decisions and stuff. But his portrayal of the character was dead on. Absolutely my favorite. And he's the only X-Men that's lasted through every movie. Like, he was the only thing that tied them all together. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Because he made him so distant from everyone else.
Yeah.
His lonesomeness, his inside himself.
Yeah.
And his portrayal was like unbelievable.
Well, in every movie he got way better. Like he was like so in tune by this last movie, Logan, that it was like, you cannot be ending this. Like it was just, don't do that to him.
Yeah,
He's so good, you know.
I haven't seen that, and I don't know if I'll ever see it. I will have to see it, but I haven't seen it yet.
It's good, but it takes it in a direction
for me.
It's good, but it takes it in a direction that you aren't really expecting, and it's kind of like,
I don't want to. I don't need to see that.
I just felt like it was almost like it felt like it was outside of the world of X-Men, like it was a different movie with Wolverine still in it, you know, because it was set in a different time period, and it's just done differently compared to like the animation, where in the future things are super advanced and there's tons of Sentinels and there's tons of like futuristic outfits and stuff, and you know, you and Storm were together, and you know, in that alternate reality and stuff, you know, there's just some awesome stuff they did that I really missed and wanted to see, you know, but it was epic. It was super epic. And you know, besides voicing Wolverine on you know, X-Men the Animated Series, which is the most iconic series in my opinion and will always be because of how they approached it and how they approached the audience with it, you also got to play Wolverine on games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes back in 2000, X-Men Children of the Atom in 94, Marvel Superheroes the video game, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel vs. Capcom the first one, Clash of Superheroes, and then Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, and these were all through like 94 to 2000. But you ended up voicing Wolverine, Iceman, Bobby Drake, and Captain America Steve Rogers throughout a course of those. All of those, it was Wolverine. Some was Iceman at 2, some was just Captain, and some was all 3. But you know, it was really cool that you got to voice some other Marvel characters as well for those video games. So that was pretty awesome that you were Captain America too.
I did Captain America?
Yeah. Credits give you credit for Captain America and Bobby Drake in a couple of the games. So,
oh my God, yeah.
Can you believe that, man? Captain America.
That's so long ago.
It's been a while.
That's so long ago. I love the little Wolverine doll that they came out with. Not little. It was like I don't know, over 3 feet, a foot and a half, 2 feet and a half high. Yeah. And you push his button in the middle, and you go like back off, bub. Like there's 16 different things. And they're like snicked, whatever. Those things.
Yeah.
You know, I lost track of it all, and you know, doing Toy Biz stuff in New York. Like, no, I wouldn't go to New York, but I would do it here. But it was for, you know, whatever, Toy Biz, and stuff, and doing some unbelievable guys from Japan or China would come in, and they'd be doing a game that you're talking about, but a story, like an actual video game, and the script would be, I'm going to say 4 inches thick.
Well, I wish they would bring y'all back. Except for Norm. Well, Norm and I talked about you, so yeah, he's a funny guy, man. He cracks me up.
Norm Spencer is very funny.
Yeah, he is. He's a hoot. He really is, man. But you know, speaking of Norm, you guys actually worked on Rescue Heroes the movie together.
Pardon?
Rescue Heroes the movie. You played a character named Rick.
Rip
Rockefeller.
Rip Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Rip Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Yep, and I can do it for you. There's Rip Rockefeller right there. And of course, what do you think Norm sounded like? Because he was like one of the bigger. He was like a major voice in Rescue Heroes.
He was Billy Blazes.
And of course, he sounded like, guess who? Captain America. Oh no, Norm. When he does everything he does, like, I wonder how everyone sounds like this. I feel like this, and this is the way I'm going to talk. And I'm like, geez, Norm, you should just pull that back a bit. Maybe put some gravel in that. Like, maybe shout. No, I can't do that because I'm the leader of the country. But Norm is just hilarious. He is really funny. And you've interviewed him, so you know. Yeah,
and he's a hoot. He really is.
But he's the only. You're the only one that you were his first podcast, correct?
Yeah. That's what he said when I had him on the show. That he's never done one since either yet. So it's like, holy cow, man! I cannot believe it.
No, he wouldn't.
I don't know. I don't know why I was so honored, but dude, that was an epic honor. And having you on the show is an epic honor. I mean, having the 2 leaders of the X-Men is pretty crazy, man. So.
No, and Trenton, how did you get a hold of Norm?
Oh gosh, dude. I
think it was
Ron. I think Ron got us in touch.
Oh, yeah.
Morph.
Yeah, Rubin?
So, yeah, Ron Rubin, yeah.
Yeah, Ron Rubin?
So,
yeah, of course it would be Ron.
But,
no.
know,
I mean, he and Norm have been friends for years.
Yeah.
And stuff. And they're both, well, at one point we were all with the same agency.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah.
And I think, I know Ron or Norm was telling me, like, sometimes y'all would show up to the same auditions, and he's like, "Why am I even here? Cal's here."
No, did Norm say that to you?
I think he did. I think we talked about that, and he was like, "Oh God, Cal's here."
I told you that too. That he would we would show up for the same audition, but normally I would be with the gravelly guys, guys who were doing gruff things, and but Norm was Captain America and like the perfect. And the big, as you usually hear announcers.
Yeah.
Today on 1959, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do this because I'm Captain America. That's Norm. Whereas I would be like, yeah, right. And I'm not. So, who do you want here? Although I could do what I did, but, Ted Knight, from Mary Tyler Moore.
Yeah.
Mary, what's going on here, Mary? But Norm, every time I would walk in and Norm would go like, "Why do we even come to these? You're here." And I would say the same thing. Well, why am I here now that you're here, Norm? And I would start talking like him. It was just stupid.
You guys are both a hoot.
We had such.
Y'all are both a hoot.
God, we had such a great time. And I told you the other day about doing the X-Men episode. This is when we used to be all in the studio together. They got smarter after a while, but there was leakage. First of all, leakage.
Yeah.
We'd have eight people in the room reading a script, and you had to wait 2 seconds after you wanted a reaction from the next person. Like if you just punched them in the face or something, you had to wait 2 seconds before they could go like, "Ooh." Ooh. And then you have to wait, and I'd have to go like, "What, does that hurt you? Did I hurt you there?" Then they'd have to wait another just like, "Oh, yes, you did." It was just stupid.
Well, it's just all for the editing purposes and stuff. But
but especially because everyone right now, what I just did turned into be a British citizen.
Yeah.
Did I hurt you? Yeah, I did. Actually, I was just thinking maybe you could just stop punching me in the face. Well, I don't know. Maybe I just might punch you in the groin then. Oh, that would be silly. Could you do that?
Oh, wow.
So, Norm and I would just get on a tangent. And so, as I told you yesterday when we talked briefly, I said, we don't want to waste any of this. We were doing an episode, and as I told you, there was a pool room where Wolverine's playing, and, because he doesn't look, Wolverine looks like Wolverine. So immediately people would go like, "Who the hell's that? What kind of a hairdo is that?" And, he and maybe, I don't know, it wasn't Morph, but, Cyclops or someone, and they're playing pool, and this motorcycle gang is in the pool hall. So, of course, they want to fight. And, Wolverine's like, "Well, anytime, pretty boy." And the pretty boy's, like, pretty big, but, like, that doesn't bother him. And so they said, "Well, can anyone do?" I told you this. Can anyone do a Jack Nicholson? And immediately, because he's standing right beside me in the studio, so we've got headsets on. He's right beside me, and Norm puts his hand and says, "Yeah, I can do that." And I haven't told him yet, and I'm just sitting there and waiting for this. And he does what he calls his Jack Nicholson.
What he calls Jack Nicholson.
The line. Oh yeah. Yeah, because there's no one in this country that does Jack Nicholson but me. But again, as I told you, I didn't know these people.
Yeah.
Nor did they know what I could do. Anyway, so he does this thing, and I said, so they finished with like, "Well, that's not bad." And I just put my hand. I'm right beside him, and I just put my hand up and said, "Can I just read that?" Because you get extra money for reading extra lines.
Yeah.
So you're putting another character, so you get like another 50% of something.
Yeah.
So I said, that was, okay, can I just try that? So I read the same line, and it was like, let's say the line was like, "I wonder if this is as good as it gets." So I just leaned into the microphone and said, "I wonder if this is as good as it gets." And Norm just went, "Beep, you." Norm just went, all F you. Being funny and being polite and stuff, but just like, oh my God, it was like complimentary to me. And he said like, oh, well, of course you do it better than me. Why do I even bother coming to these things? And anyway, so I got the extra, whatever episode that is, and I've been looking for it because I got the entire series now on, whatever, Blu-ray. It's 5 years.
Yeah, I watched it on Hulu.
That episode.
So I know I watched the whole series on Hulu, kind of like Netflix, but the other program. So
yeah.
So you can watch the whole thing streaming there, which is where I rewatched everything to kind of get reacquainted with the show, because I remember it from when I was a kid, but it's just so epic, and I had never really seen them all in order, and I am a person that likes to start with episode 1 and go all the way to the last episode. One of the things I absolutely love about X-Men the Animated Series that you don't get to see a lot of times, Cal, is they actually have a conclusion to the show. There's actually a finale to it, whereas a lot of cartoons or animations just drop, and it's like season 2, and there was a plan 3, it doesn't happen, and the end of season 2 is leaving you on a cliffhanger, and you're like, really? But X-Men actually gave us an ending, and I like that because at least it's a show that they could have come back with. They could have revamped even today, and brought your whole cast back to do a reunion movie or something, because people would eat that up. They would.
For sure.
But they didn't. They didn't leave it on a cliffhanger. They gave it an ending, and if they continued it, great. But it was a conclusion. We knew that, so there was no question about it. But besides Wolverine and all the other awesome Marvel characters you voiced for video games and for the TV show.
Excuse me, Trent, but just just worry, because I'll forget it if I don't get it in now. What you were just talking about. So what was so unbelievable about the X-Men too, because whenever in an animated series, cartoon ever, did you hear, when the episode came up, you got up Saturday morning and you turned on the TV and you knew it was coming, and you heard this previously on X-Men.
Yeah.
Who, except for like soap operas or like real TV series, who on an animated series ever heard previously on Bugs Bunny? No one. And X-Men was like the first series ever previously on X-Men, and it would show you, give you a caption, bring you up to date before they started the episode.
And I love that. It really was good to have a recap, especially if you missed it or you forgot, or so.
And that's what Eric and his wife, the creators of the show, he's written a book, and it's being published out in about 2 weeks. Eric and Julia Lewald, who created the series, he called the book Previously on X-Men. For that reason, because no other Popeye wasn't previously on Popeye. Excuse me. Who would give a crap?
Well, they were mini shorts a lot of times. They weren't like a continuing story. Like X-Men was a full-on continuing story. I love that.
Yeah, I know, which is what you were saying.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful that previously on X-Men.
Yeah. Anyway. And the theme song was kick butt too, man. That was that theme song alone gets you so pumped up. You're like, oh yeah, X-Men.
Oh, I know. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. Oh, I know. Don't get me there. Don't get me started.
Well, it's pretty epic. But, the other thing I really wanted to talk about, Halloween is just around the corner. And this is, going to be coming out in time for that holiday season of Halloween. And you voiced Slappy and the Garden Gnomes from Goosebumps, along with the spoken voice on the actual theme song. So what was it like playing that scary character Slappy? Because man, he and the gnomes, I think, were the scariest characters on the show. And before doing the interview, I knew you were Slappy, but I didn't know you were the Garden Gnomes, and both of those were creepy. All of the gnomes. So
they were very, very weird. And Jack Lenz, who did the music, and we did the whole series with him. Viewer beware, you're in for a scare. That was me. I did that stuff like in the blink, 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 and like woo, 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 the dog barking. But that Slappy thing, just I did it for like 2 to 3 years. Doing that part again, not thinking like he's a very weird character. And people freak out when I do it, as I told you. And girls, especially women, whatever, it's just like, oh, don't do that. No, that scares me and my daughter. We can't. You go away, you.
Go away, you creepy man.
Still, go away, you. But the lawn gnomes were so weird. Like they weren't even like. It was just like. Like,
it was
weird
like whispers
noises
or something. Yeah.
Oh no, but they were ugly looking, weird things and stuff. And the next door neighbor was like a retired colonel, a sergeant or something, who was very explicit about, none of that. And the lawn gnomes wanted to kill him or something.
Yeah, they were destroying his garden.
Very weird.
They were destroying his garden and blaming it on the kid next door, and then
that's right.
he was like he had his prized rose garden or something. You're like, really, a colonel has a prized rose garden?
Shit.
Like, come on.
They were destroying his garden. Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. I mean, talk about epic stuff. I mean, and it's great because I have my nieces and nephews come over. I've watched every Goosebumps episode there is, and they need to keep making it.
Well, but I didn't know it was in the States.
No, yeah. And I knew it was Canadian because the kids would be like, sorry. That was the only thing that gave it away that it was Canadian, because the kids on there would be like, sorry, Mom. You're like, those kids aren't American. They're like, we're here in New York. Sorry, Mom. I'm like, no, they don't say sorry, Mom in New York. But I love my Canadian brothers and sisters, man. I've met so many actors from up there that are Canadian. I love you guys so much, and I've never felt so much connection to Canada before until I started doing this show, and now I feel like we're just a state away instead of a country away, because I've gotten to know so many people from up in Canada, and you guys are just amazing. So,
and you're in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, yeah. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain.
Don't start. The waving week can sure smell sweet.
Oh, yeah.
When the wind comes right behind the rain. Why wouldn't it? A good rain will do that.
Absolutely, man. It smells so good after a good rain. But
okay,
anyway,
so,
aside from the weather report.
Huh?
I said, aside from our weather report, we were talking about Slappy and the gnomes. And Slappy was just a creepy little guy. He came back in like season 1, 3, and 5. He came back a couple of different times, and he was just a creepy little guy, man. He was really creepy.
Oh no, I know, but I found there was like a little discrepancy or a little inquiry about who actually did the voice and stuff, and that it was like the puppeteer that did it. I think it was a girl, I think. And I had to like take a hold of that and go like, no, I'm sorry. She may have been the puppeteer for him or whatever, but she did not do the voice.
Yeah.
Because I know it was me. And then the movie came out, and I'm going like, well, why wouldn't you hire a Canadian? That'd be dumb, wouldn't it? Why wouldn't you hire Slappy that everyone hated, that knew from the series? But I forget who did it. Was it Jack Black or something?
I think Jack Black did it in the movie, I think, yeah.
Oh, that's really great. Wouldn't he be super doing that?
Who knows? I don't know.
But I watched the movie, but it was different. It was not. It was kind of. It had some essence of it, but it wasn't like the TV show that I grew up with. It wasn't like oh wow, this is exactly the same feeling. It was for a newer generation, I think, and the way it was geared. It was good, but it was different from the original TV show. That's for sure.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
But anyway,
as so was X-Men.
Yeah, everyone
like
takes a little bit different take on it.
The real movie as opposed to animation, because they're two different genres.
Yeah.
And it's, to each his own.
And there's some things you can do in live action, but you can't. I mean, there's some things you can do more in animation that you really can't do as much in live action, especially back when they started doing X-Men in 99, 2000. Things have advanced so much in our Marvel movies now, and there's more of a universe built around everything. Back when Bryan Singer was doing X-Men and the first Spider-Man movies were coming out, they were like on their own, just kind of trying to figure that market out, so.
Yeah. And do you know what I liked about the X-Men series too, as like a parent and stuff, is that girls and boys had their heroes in the X-Men. There's Rogue, there's Jean Grey, there's Storm. It was like spread over male, female. He said, "Oh, you got your heroes? Well, I'm Storm, and I can do this, and I can see them in school."
Yeah.
And the little boys going like, and the one thing that Eric and Julia, and God bless them, to invent, first of all, create the show and write it and stuff. They just said they were so happy when this little 12-year-old kid who was having problems because he was a little overweight in school and was thinking of committing suicide.
Oh, no.
And he was standing on his roof, and he said, "This would not. I want to take, because I'm feeling badly." But he loved the X-Men series. He said, "If I do this, I won't see the X-Men tomorrow on Saturday morning. I won't see the X-Men, and I won't see Wolverine, and I won't." So they wouldn't do this. He got down off the roof, and he said to his parents, he told them, and they just freaked out.
Wow.
And it's a great story. It's like he had such an impact on children. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But the fact, again, I'll just say, just the male and female little kids could love that show.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
That's crazy, man. Well, I mean, that's an amazing story. And I mean, X-Men was a life-changing show in more than one way for many people. And, I think it's going to continue to impact people for a long, long time. Cal, I really do.
I hope so.
There's a lot of people you've impacted through the course of your work as Wolverine and other things you've done. But I think Wolverine has probably been
I'm sorry? A lot of people what?
I said, I think Wolverine.
I'm sorry, I'm a bit deaf.
Oh, it's okay. I said, I think Wolverine has been the character that's really impacted people the most out of all the characters you've done. And what is the kind of advice you would give to somebody who would maybe look at joining the world of acting or singing, entertainment industry? And what kind of advice would you give to them?
Wow. Because my life was not easy growing up. Wow, that's a great question, Trenton. That is a great question.
I'm glad you.
And
like
it would take no, I love it. It goes back from whatever age you are, 1, 3, 5, 7, and different problems with your family. Believe in yourself. I remember growing up as a child, being in a bedroom and being sick a lot in like grade 6, 7, and 8, whatever, 5, 6, 7, and just rocking back and forth with my hands up in the air, rocking back and forth, and listening to the radio, by the way, because I knew every song on the radio.
That's awesome.
And would rock back and forth and sing it until and then my brothers would go there. They'd be in the same bedroom, two of them, going like, "Mom, can you tell him to shut up, please?" But because I'd be rocking back and forth singing stuff.
Yeah.
And never give up. Never ever give. So I still my dream was to I would go to Elvis Presley movies and stuff and go like, I'm going to do that. That's what I want to do. But meanwhile, I was a great phys ed student and karate and all that crap and stuff and phys ed and everything. I thought I was going to be a phys ed teacher. My father said, no, you're not going to be a phys ed teacher. You're going to be a chartered accountant. And I went, I am? Because I really had no choice at that point because they couldn't afford to send me to school. So I had to go to, after grade 13, but these kids won't know that these days, it'll be grade 12. But I joined the CA course through in a chartered accountant's office at the age of 17. It's a lovely time to be in a CA office when you're a singer and you want to be a phys ed teacher. And then my father died 2 years later, and I said, that's it. Count me gone. Color me gone. I'm out of here. And I went to Toronto because my mom found me, an agent, whatever, said, go and sing for her or whatever. And that was the beginning and end. They just said, will you hear this kid? And they sent me over to CBC, and they just went, we love this kid. And it was just never, ever give up what you believe you can do. And I literally lived for 2 years on craft dinner.
Wow.
Literally on craft dinner and my unemployment insurance.
Goodness gracious.
With
another
kid that was buddy of mine who was who was teaching school in Toronto.
Yeah.
And I cashed everything in and said, I'm giving this. I'm throwing my life. I'm saying I think I'm good enough to do this. But I knew I was in my heart. I knew no one could sing better than me in this country. I knew it, and because I'm very competitive, and which is why I wanted to go into phys ed. But I knew no one could sing like me, and I figured it out. And I came here, and it took a year and a half. My mom would send me money to help me, but I was living on my unemployment insurance. Big, how much that would be? Like $70 every 2 weeks. And I'm paying my rent. That's paying my rent. Anyway, so my advice would be never, ever give up. Believe in what you could do, and it'll happen. If it was meant to be and you're that good, it will happen because they can't ignore your presence, your talent, and your gumption.
Wow, that is some epic advice, Cal. Thank you so much, man. Wow.
Oh, you're so welcome, Trenton.
Wow, I have two.
That's the way I feel.
Well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad you do because you have such a passion, and I mean, I feel these essences of Wolverine coming out in you because you are so passionate and you are so powerful vocally, and you have a great voice, and oh man, you're just booming. And I don't know, it's just, I could go on with compliments forever, but all of the accumulation of what you are is just so impactful, and the way you say it. And I know there will be other X-Men and Marvel fans out there that will hear this, and, other fans of you just because of your other works that will just love this advice, because I absolutely love it. I have two final questions for you, Cal, and we will wrap this interview up. And
okay, what is it? Come on.
The first one is, what is your website, and how can people reach out to you on that website?
What is my website?
Yes.
CalDodd.com.
Okay, CalDodd.com, everybody.
CalDodd.com.
Awesome. And I believe you have some clips of music and stuff on there as well, don't you, Cal?
Oh, no. There's as I told you, I did singing forever.
Yeah.
So there's jingles, which are singing commercials.
Mm-hmm.
This is all me. Every voice you hear. If there's backgrounds, I did the backgrounds as well, because you can't do that. Everything is me singing on there. Whether it's you hear four voices, they're all mine.
Dude,
so
that's awesome.
Jingles, and there's voiceovers and stuff, and then my animation stuff's on there, like Slappy and Wolverine, and other stuff you guys wouldn't know about.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there.
That's awome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us,
And then my
Cal.
album at the end of it, my album is like there's a splinter of each 15 cuts on my CD that I did 6 years ago or whatever.
Okay.
But with the best musicians in this country. So
that's awesome.
God
that is
bless.
really awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that with us, and for sure putting your album out there. Maybe down the road we can expect a Christmas album from you.
Christmas album.
Absolutely, man. Why not? Wolverine sings Christmas songs. I can see it now.
Oh, no. Oh yeah, no, I know. And someone asked me that. Would you sing it? Someone asked me that, and would you sing it as Wolverine? I said, oh, wouldn't that be lovely? Wouldn't that be lovely? Wolverine singing Silent Night. Yeah, that'd be lovely. Silent night, holy. No, you wouldn't want to hear that.
But a Christmas album, as Cal Dodd, would be amazing.
Okay. No, I know, but oh God.
It would be funny as Wolverine, though.
That. Trent and I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. I'll be doing another album, but it won't be a Christmas one.
Okay. Well, hey, even another album would be amazing. Let me know, and I'll definitely help promote that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much, bud.
You're welcome. Well, the last question I have for you is, what is the legacy that you want to leave behind, Cal?
Wow. Man, could he sing. Singing's huge with my whole life, my whole family's life, everything. And I've never been singing better than I'm singing right at this moment, which is unbelievable to me, because I've been doing it for 35 years professionally. Singing commercials about toilet paper and beer, and I toured with Joe Cocker.
Yeah.
God bless him. Joe Cocker.
Yeah.
I toured with him with a rock group that I was in called Deja Vu. That's back in 1976. And I would just say, man, he just everything that I say, everything is from my heart.
Yeah.
So when I sing, everything is from my heart. If I sang a bit of which unbelievably, of course, this might be a nice moment because I'm in my pool. My pool is covered with a cover.
Yeah.
Can you hear any echo?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So if I went, does that sound like an echo?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So. I actually, because Wolverine from the movies did Les Mis, Les Miserables.
Yeah. Favorite musical, love it.
And he sang "Bring Him Home" in that thing, and I just had to Google that. I listened to it because I couldn't even imagine that.
Yeah.
Him singing "Bring Him Home," and because it was live.
Yeah.
Filmed live and the movie and stuff. Anyway, well, I was just going to do a bit of that. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. Yeah, are you familiar with the show?
Yeah, I am. Yeah, it's one of my favorite musicals. My dad took me to it when I was 5.
If I sang, he's like, so let me know what this sounds like. I'm just going to pull the phone away from my ear.
Okay.
He's like the sun I might have known. If God had granted me a son, the summer fly on and on, I'll soon may fly on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young. He is only a boy. You can take, you can give. Let him rest, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. Does that sound stupid?
Oh my gosh, dude, I have goosebumps and chills. That was amazing. Wow.
So,
I absolutely love Les Mis.
Pardon?
I love that musical. No. That is one of my absolute favorites of all times. Oh, it's beautiful. That was gorgeous. Thank you so much for doing that, Cal.
And that's in my pool cover, so there's a bit of an echo in here, which is good. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
wow. Wolverine singing, everyone.
Hear that.
It's beautiful, man. Oh, no. I love it. I love it. Thank you.
Wolverine should never be able to sing that high because he's always down here. He's like, he's down here and stuff. Like, what's he doing? Like, baby. He's like, what? But that's what I mean. It confuses people, and I love keeping people confused, and then they don't believe it.
Well, you have such a wide range. It's awesome, man. Such a talent.
Oh, it's stupid. No. There's like a 3.5 octave range, two, three octave range.
Jeez.
Because I used to do all the bottom stuff, blah blah blah. Bottom stuff. Because no, seriously, I did all the my baby, of course, and then I just did 3 octaves higher than that.
Yeah.
It's like stupid. But it's a gift, and I love it, and it's just there, and I'm bored because there's nowhere to use it.
Yeah. Wow, man! Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Cal. That was epic, man.
You're very welcome, and you are a great buddy now.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Now we're friends.
Yes, sir.
Oh, no. We are.
We are good buddies.
And we'll get Norm and myself, and we'll do a conference call, which would be so stupidly funny.
That would be awesome.
We wouldn't stop insulting each other. It would be just stupid. Like Cyclops and Wolverine on your show.
Let's do it, man. I'm so game.
In character. No, but in character.
I love it. I'll ask Cyclops and Wolverine questions the whole time. Cal and Norm won't be there.
Oh, I know. But Norm, no. So just tell Norm when he's on it that Norm has to act normal.
Okay.
Has to act like Norm because Norm is Cyclops. He just has to act normal, and I'll be Wolverine. And they go oh, look at him, Professor. Didn't you tell us we had to be on time for school and stuff? Yeah. Well, Wolverine's off doing his own thing, and I would be right behind him, going "Why don't you back off and grow up, buddy?" and walk around him "Grow up, come on."
Well, that would be
in real life.
That would be epic to have both of you on. We'll definitely shoot to do that.
Oh.
Definitely.
Oh, we should.
Absolutely.
I'll make that happen.
I love it. Let's do it, man. Just give me a call. We'll do it.
All right. I will organize that.
Well, Cal, it has been an absolute honor and pleasure having you on the show today. Would you give us a closeout today as Wolverine from X-Men, the animated series?
Hi, this is Cal Dodd, and who did that voice? And if you can't get that voice, then you haven't watched X-Men ever in your life, pal. Have a good day.
Hey everyone, and thanks so much for listening to today's episode of Who Did That Voice? If you enjoyed today's episode, please check us out online on all social media platforms at Who Did That Voice and on YouTube at Who Did That Voice 24. Thank you to all my listeners out there. I just wanted to say, if you want to partner with Who Did That Voice, just telling your friends and family about us is the best way to share the show with others.
Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time for more discoveries on Who Did That Voice.